Do you know what I like to do when I discover that there's a card store near me? I like to look at some baseball cards. Yeah, so there's a card store my daughter found because her friend is in love with Joe Burrow, so she wanted to go get a card of him for her for Christmas. And you know who she wanted? Travis Kelce. So I took her up, and I got a couple of cards. Want to support the local card shop. I didn't even dick her around. I just paid sticker. Like to support the local stores, man. So I got a couple of things, and I was just looking for this card, so they happened to have one. They didn't have a whole lot of vintage, but they had a little bit, and I got this this Eddie Matthews 1960 All-Star. These cards are a little bit tough. It's a beautifully centered, beautiful example of the card. And this is awesome. And this is a one of one, baby. I think I'm the only one that likes to buy these. But this is Don Drysdale, and it's diamond cut. And yes, that's how Topps made them sometimes. It's a fantastic card. I love the diamond cut. Love some miscut cards sometimes. And he had a stack of these laying on the counter. And when I was a little kid, I remember being at my cousin's, and they had a couple of candy shops nearby. And this was the farther one away. And we walked over there, and I remember the first time I saw these, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were in a pile for like 15 cents each. That's my recollection anyway. And these are from 1980, and they're the Topps Supers, and I just love them. I have a whole album filled with them, so I get to add these to them. So I picked out some of the ones I didn't have. And there's the George Foster and the Ted Simmons. And I got the Gary Templeton and Jason Thompson. Now, Jason Thompson was on my Pittsburgh Pirates for a little while, and he was our home run hitter. He actually played very well in Pittsburgh. His stats were higher there than anywhere else. But I love to watch him. He played well for us, and at the time, it was after the '79 World Series team, and it was after Stargell was gone, and we had him, and he played first base after Willie Stargell, and we had Jim Morrison at third base, and he was a pretty solid player too. So those were the two guys that we got to watch. Now, I got something very, very special in. Before I show that, I got something else pretty special in. And so this is Redman, 1953. And it is Hoyt Wilhelm. And man, it's just spectacular. And these Redmen, they look so fabulous in these SGC holders. You know, I'm not a huge grading fan, but they sure do look nice in these holders. And I showed you a few recently, so this is the fourth one I picked up recently. And this is just a beauty. Hoyt Wilhelm. And I have to say, this is way nicer than the grade. Look at this thing. Spectacular. Who cares about grades? All right, now for my big purchase. Here, I got to put my white glove on. This needs the white glove treatment. I showed you guys before some of my J.D. McCarthy postcards. I've been picking up here and there. I got a couple Joe Morgans. I got a couple Mickey Mantles, and I got a couple Al Kalines. Well, this is a I would say a little tougher. You could certainly find them, but it's not something you see every day. And I'm willing to bet a lot of you have never seen this before. But these J.D. McCarthy postcards, they made them in the 50s and 60s, and it's possible, I'm not sure, they may have made them into the early 70s. And I believe they were distributed at the stadiums. But this thing is spectacular. Just spectacular. And that is Roberto Clemente. It just says J.D. McCarthy about along there. I don't know why they call them postcards. Most postcards have a place for a stamp, a place for your name and everything. But I believe these were, you know, sold at the stadiums. Outstanding. Been looking for one of these for a while, and I saw this beautiful one, and I couldn't pass it up. And I also got this. I love these Donruss canvas. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to them. I love the canvas cards, and I got a CD Lamb. This card just looks spectacular as all the team colors there. Whites and blues. CD Lamb. All right, and to stick with what I've been doing recently, going through as I'm sorting and pulling out some cool cards, I thought I'd do it again. I got some cool stuff here. This is a Barry Bonds starting lineup card. Who collected the starting lineups back in the day? It's a fantastic card. Got a facsimile signature back there. And this card, this is one of my favorite Sportflix cards. It has Pete Rose, Cal Ripken Jr., and Rod Carew all on one. And I'll see if the camera can pick this up. Here's Pete Rose, Cal Ripken Jr., and Rod Carew. These are fun. And I stumbled across this. I don't know where I got it. I think somebody might have sent it to me. I don't even remember ever having this card. But I don't know. Maybe I didn't see it in the light, and I hope it picks it up. This is a hologram card of Hank Aaron, an Upper Deck. And man, this thing's so cool looking. Look at that. I mean, this is what it looks like. And then when the light hits it, it just comes to life. Just comes alive. Man, I think it looks even better in person. You put it under the light and it's just like three-dimensional. Such a cool card. And I stumbled upon this. Randy Johnson, man. I love this set. This is a great set. That is one cool baseball card. And I got a David Justice. These pro cards from the minor leagues. And they call him Dave. Never heard anybody call him Dave before. Maybe when he made it to the pros, he got a little fancy, like Tony Dorsett. His original name was Tony Dorsett. And when he was in college and he was getting famous for breaking the record, and somebody mispronounced his name Dorsett, and he liked it. He thought it sounded fancier, so he changed his name, the pronunciation anyway. And I got this, and a lot of people in Pittsburgh didn't like him for that for some reason, but who cares? He was fabulous, fabulous running back in college and the pros. And man, you don't hear enough about him. He was fantastic. I got this police card of Bo Jackson. And this Dion Sanders. And I always loved these cards. I don't know why. They just look so fabulous to me. When did they make these? I think 86, 87, and 88. But these All-Stars. No, they made them at least 2 years. I think they made them 3. Anyway, this is Daryl Strawberry. And I talk about... Oh, I made that a little crooked in there. Let me straighten that baby out. I'm going to grade this a 10. I talk about this store I used to go to back home, and he would have like cork boards around the store, and back then they had these longer penny sleeves, and they would come way up, and I've shown them before because I still have a few laying around, and they would come way up, so they would stick outside of the top loader. But anyway, he would take those and he would tack them through the top of the penny sleeve around these cork boards, and he'd put them up there for a dime, a quarter, 20 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, and I don't think it was anything over $1. And I used to just go around there and grab, man, a pile for a few bucks. And when I go through my cards, I have all these cards that I know came from there. They're all kind of like what many collectors, I don't, but what many collectors call oddball items and discs and different card issues. I probably got this this starting lineup there. You know, somebody opened up the starting lineup and pulled out the card or whatever. But it was just so much fun. I used to go in there and, you know, you could talk sports, talk cards, and just walk around the store. And I could spend so much time in there and just pull out cards and buy them for next to nothing. And I got a lot of my my Post cereal cards from the early 60s there. He used to have those pinned up, and I got them for next to nothing. Those were the good old days. So, hey, that's what I have for you. Thanks for hanging out with me.